So that winter finale, they just kept piling the weight of these revelations onto Jace's shoulders.
Yeah.
But in that final scene, we saw Jace choose to let Clary and Simon have their moment of
Correct.
happiness. And so when will Jace be ready to tell Clary that they're not actually siblings?
It actually doesn't come from Jace. We don't. Yeah, Jace is ready to keep it a secret until he's figured out the exact kind of perfect way to mention it. And the important thing for Jace is that it does need to be known, but he's very worried about potentially ruining a relationship that's making Clary happy. And at the end of the day, all he cares about is Clary's happiness and Clary's safety. Not Simon, doesn't care about Simon at all, but like Clary, he wants her to be happy, and she seems to be in this moment. So he'll do everything he can to keep it that way.
And so does Jace still feel responsible for the disappearance of the Soul Sword, and is he going to try to hunt that down?
Oh, 100%. And it's the Soul Sword is not such a heavy weight on Jace's mind as the deaths that he feels responsible for. And we see that we actually have a really lovely scene between Jace and Alec, where Jace is really feeling the weight of everything that he feels he's done, and despite the fact that it was Valentine and his wordsmanship, I suppose, that has tricked Jace into this place of darkness, Jace does feel the responsibility 100% for what he's done. And there are in fact times when other characters force that upon him, when he does feel the weight of that, because there are now once again people who don't trust him, because regardless of whether or not it was Valentine, Jace did this. He did activate the sword, and he was responsible for those deaths.
We've seen Jace go on this journey with his identity, with his biological family and his adoptive family.
Yes.
And so is he going to try and find out who his real parents are?
Again, this is one that's just kind of thrust upon him, because this has kind of been the through line of the story. Everyone seems to know more than Jace does. Even Clary's like, oh yeah, no, you don't want to do this, you want to do this. And we're like, duh. How did we miss that, being like career Shadowhunters? But everyone seems to know more than Jace. So again, this is a revelation that doesn't come from Jace's exploration of his past. It comes from someone else telling him.
And we heard that we're finally going to see Idris this season.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that Jace might be traveling back home?
There's definitely a chance, yeah, 100%. We saw Idris briefly in season 1 with the flashbacks, but yeah, this season it's a little different. We actually just came back. We filmed there in 16 with Paul, and let me tell you, it was pretty cold. It was very cold, in fact. Like, we're talking frozen lakes and then like frozen actors, and it was really brutal, but it looks amazing. It looks stunning. Worth it, maybe.
What can you tease for us about Jace and Valentine's relationship now that he's captive at the Institute?
It's not great. It's not great. It doesn't get better. Again, Valentine has always been one step ahead of us for the entirety of our story, so that doesn't really change. He still knows, even in chains, in a cell, in the Institute, under the control of the Clave, he still knows how to get to us, and I think that's one of the most frustrating things about Valentine, is that he's not necessarily a kind of all-out like killing machine. He is, and that's his idea of a reality. But is the real danger with Valentine comes from his knowledge and his ability to twist the truth and twist the people around him.
And so we know that Jace's blood is the reason Simon can now be
Correct.
a Daywriter.
Correct.
And they've developed this kind of mutual respect that came to a beautiful moment at the end of the season. And so can you tease anything about where Jace and Simon's relationship is going to move forward, even though they've got this triangle? Yeah,
now it's tough because of this triangle. It's a really tough place to be, and I think the real animosity comes from, or will it end up coming from, Clary to Jace. Jace never has any towards her. Clary towards Jace, and then Simon towards Clary at some points, but Jace and Simon really have no animosity towards each other, because they understand that they're not consciously getting in each other's way. It's not something that they're trying to do. They're not trying to sabotage each other in any way. And in fact, there is this underlying thing, like you said, Jace saved his life and changed his life to the point where he can now live normally to a certain extent. He can live like a regular human being who, drinks blood and stuff.
If you describe season 2B in 3 words, what would you say?
Season 2B in 3 words. We're not finished. in every sense of the word, I guess, because we haven't physically finished filming, and there's more to come at the end of the season. Again, if it ends the way I think it's going to end, and we don't know, we've just heard rumors. If it ends the way I think it's going to end, I'm pretty excited for that, and I think people are going to freak out.